Hello, everyone. So, most of you know me. I'm Tiffany, and my business is Coach Tiffany. If you are curious about that and end up wanting to check me out, I am getting on today because I'm really disappointed in a woman leader that I follow. And I intentionally got on without having done my hair and makeup because this leader is somebody, she does stuff about course creation and online marketing. And she's somebody that I really have been enjoying listening to, and she clearly knows her stuff about business. But the other day, she had a post or a podcast that really broke my heart. I haven't been able to get over it. And I was actually talking with my awesome virtual assistant this morning, Cassie, and I just ended up like ranting about it. Gosh, hopefully I'm not too glitchy. I got a new computer. It's better than my old one, but still not perfect. So, this woman leader is somebody that I have a lot of respect for, and she does a lot of work in the online world. She gives a lot of great content, a lot of ideas about how to really get your message out there. And that is my mission right now, is really to spread the message that you can have freedom in your relationship with food, that there is a different way than the traditional diet culture and diet mentality where we restrict and struggle and fight against ourselves and fight against our hunger and avoid foods, right? This like fighting that happens. That there's a different way that is about listening to your body and learning what your body, the messages that your body's giving you, what your body wants and needs, and having satisfaction and enjoyment in your relationship with food. So there is a way to heal your relationship with food and to enjoy food again and to work with your body, embrace your body and embrace food. So that's my message. And my goal is to spread my message as loudly and as clearly and as far and wide as possible because I see so many women who are just stuck in that struggle. Maybe it's even been like a lifelong struggle, or we've had this struggle since we were young, right? Since we were like 10 years old. For me, it started at 10 years old. And actually, 80% of 10-year-old girls are worried about being fat. So it happens for 80% of women at 10 years old. Starts to happen. We have this lifelong struggle with food and with our bodies and worrying about this, and it's very oppressive. It takes up so much mental and emotional energy. And I want to see these women instead like doing what they're meant to do in the world and having their passions fulfilled and living the lives that they want to live and enjoying their families and having fun and having joy, right? So I want to give women that freedom. And I want to help create change and create a ripple effect in the world by helping women have this freedom. So back to why I'm disappointed in this particular woman leader and women leaders in general. We need to be empowering each other so that we can all lead at the capacity we're meant to lead to really create change in the world. And the world is so divided and there's so much pain in the world right now. We really need women leaders to step up and do their thing and lead. So my whole mission is around allowing women to free up that mental and emotional energy and truly feed and nourish themselves so that they can have the stamina and the energy that they need reserved for being what they're really meant to be in the world, right? So, given that this is my message, I think you'll understand, and my mission, I think you'll understand why I was so disappointed because it seemingly wasn't a big deal. This is a woman I don't actually know, right? And her business is about online marketing. So, on one hand, she's helping women leaders to have a better platform and to spread their message better. But she did something that really, I felt really undermines that. And I think that this happens really commonly. So back in October, she did a very short podcast about feeling self-conscious on video about her weight, which is one of the reasons I didn't do my hair and makeup because I do typically do my hair and makeup for these things. And I wanted to be willing to be vulnerable and show that it actually doesn't matter what we look like when we are trying to speak our passion, right? That our message is powerful, regardless of whether we have our hair and makeup done, regardless of our body size, regardless of our age, right? Like I'm not a spring chicken anymore. I've had two children, and oh, I just saw that Emily hopped on. Hi, Emily. So I'm talking about why I'm really disappointed in this particular woman leader. But the buildup was that my mission is really to spread the message of food freedom and the ability to heal your relationship with food as far and as wide as possible. So then you'll understand why this is really bugging me. So this woman leader posted a very short podcast about, feeling, oh, hey there, it's Kat, hop on too. And thank you for saying beautiful, because I don't have my hair and makeup done today, so I feel a little bit self-conscious, but I did it intentionally, so you'll understand why. Well, one is that I was just really feeling like I needed to get this message out there. But two is I wanted to show that it doesn't matter what we look like on video, that, that it is valuable to be professional, right? But there are times where we don't want to let our appearance hold us back. And this is really important to this message. So this particular woman leader, she posted this post about feeling self-conscious on video, and the reason she didn't like to do video, and she got really vulnerable and talked about that she felt ashamed of her size and her weight, and that she was really trying to work around like loving herself fully and accepting herself and changing that, and so using video more. And I was so excited to hear this, that she was willing to be vulnerable and talk about this struggle that many women have. Many women, I think it's something like 80% of women don't like the way that they look, right? And so I was really excited about that. And, I just started listening to her podcast recently, so I just have heard this recently. Fast forward to this week, she sent out a message saying she'd done a video about her weight loss. And my heart kind of sank a little that she was focusing on weight loss. But I thought, I really want to listen to this, because on that other post, I heard this message of love and acceptance. And so hopefully it's going to be something about love and acceptance, right? And not really about the weight. So I listened to the podcast, and it turns out that it was very weight focused. And she did have a message in there where she said to people that you don't have to lose weight to love and accept yourself. But her story was that she had to focus on losing weight to love and accept herself enough to be on video and to feel good on video. Unfortunately, that really perpetuates the message that you need to lose weight, right? Like if you feel like you're overweight, then the solution to getting over feeling self-conscious on video isn't about accepting yourself as you are or loving yourself fully, or about spreading your message and knowing that your message is valuable and needed in the world, regardless of your size, right? Unfortunately, the overarching message was, I'm a woman leader who felt self-conscious on video, and so I had to lose weight, or I chose to focus on losing weight, rather than choosing to focus on loving and accepting myself in the moment. There were some self-acceptance messages in there, and she did talk about working less, right? And learning to take care of her emotions in a way that didn't include using food as a way to deal with her emotions. But there was a big message of restriction in there. And there was a big message of if you feel self-conscious about something, you need to try to fix it rather than having love and acceptance for yourself, right? And she has so many followers, and I just thought, oh, this is really heartbreaking. Initially, she didn't talk about what she was eating, because she was saying it's not about the food, and it's really not about the food. It's much more about how we relate to food. But ultimately, she went into that she's eating, just bulletproof coffee in the morning and a salad for lunch, and then a meal and at dinner. And so not a lot of calories, right? And also it's really narrow, like what she can eat is really narrow. And then she has these like cheat days that she allows herself, but they have to be predetermined. Well, that's not real life. So real life isn't, you don't always know when you're going to have the opportunity to have something celebratory or something special that you want to try, something that is satisfying to you that maybe isn't on your plan, right? Or wasn't pre-planned out. Also, restricting calories ultimately leads to weight gain. So right now she's had this weight loss of like 60 pounds. Who knows? Maybe she'll be able to maintain that. But 80% of people who lose weight on a diet gain it all back. And there's a reason for that. And it's because when we restrict, our body's messages get louder and louder and louder. And actually the desire for food is increased, like our physiology changes, and our neurobiology and our chemicals and our hormones, they give us more and more signals that we need to eat, right? And that certain foods are more desirable. So it actually, your desire for things like sugar and carbohydrates, that actually increases in your biology, right? Like physiologically, it increases. It's not just in your head, but there is also a subjective or objective desire for food. So increase in your desire for food, both in your head and in your body, right? So there's this pendulum swing that happens. So if you zoom out, likely, statistically, she's likely to gain at least some of that weight back, if not all of it. Um, so the point of all of this is that the diet culture, the diet mentality is harmful, and it undermines our ability to trust ourselves, and it undermines our um, self-confidence, right? And it prevents us from spreading our message as we are today. It prevents us from really getting out there and speaking our truth. And when women leaders encourage people to lose weight, whether that be from their own personal journey or, for whatever reason, when we comment on other people's bodies, when we focus on, oh, my thighs or my this or my that, when we focus on our value being tied to what size we are or what we ate this morning, it diminishes our value overall. Oh, I'm seeing some hearts. Thank you guys so much. If any of this resonates with you, please just like comment like yes, or a story, an example of a woman leader that you know that has perpetuated this idea that we're not valuable and worthy of love and respect no matter what. Instead, we're valuable and worthy if we look a certain way, right? Is our message and our passions and our who we are in the world is far more important than whether I put on mascara, right? Like I very often do my makeup, and I'm actually going to challenge myself to get on here more without makeup on, because when I do, it's usually when I'm riled up and I just have this message that I have to share and I don't have time to do my hair and makeup, right? Like I was talking to my virtual assistant about that. She's like, I don't have time to worry about that shit. Like I have got to, I'm doing it. I'm really doing this, right? And like for me, I don't have time to be all twisted up about feeling like I'm not good enough because of the number on the scale. I am good enough today, regardless of the number on the scale, regardless of what size jeans I wear, regardless of the fact that I don't have any makeup on, right? Like my value and my worth is constant. And I've worked really hard to learn that. And it took me a really long time. And so when I see a woman who has thousands and thousands of followers, who is really working hard, who's clearly brilliant, I'm so disheartened and discouraged and sad when I see her attach her value and her worth and her deserving of being on a camera to the number on the scale. Now, again, there were a lot of things that this particular leader had done really well. She really did focus on, working on the inside rather than some of the external things. And I appreciate her vulnerability, but I feel like the overarching message was still harmful. And a lot of people were probably misled to believe once again that the answer is some diet out here, that will fix them. Instead of the answer being in here and the answer being truly caring for ourselves and knowing that we deserve that. So one of the principles of intuitive eating is body respect, respecting our bodies. And that is, it is an overarching theme in intuitive eating because really, rather than having this rigid plan, if I eat these things at this time, we need to go, okay, body, what do you need, right? What are you hungry for? What kind of, what kind of time frame are we talking about? Like, am I hungry now, right? Like, we need to look at our bodies and see what our bodies need instead of this kind of out here plan. And so, once again, her message was much more about, yes, I've decided to take care of myself, but I've decided to do it by kind of this controlled, restrictive way that will make me lose weight so I feel good enough to be on a video. Well, I'm telling you today, you are good enough to be on a video. If you have a message to share, if you have something that you're passionate about that you want to start speaking on, please get on Facebook Live. I want to hear your message. I don't care what the scale says. I don't care what your scale says. I care what you have to say. That is far more valuable in my world, in my eyes, than anything about, whether you're a size 8 or a size 24 or whatever size you are, right? Okay, oh, I'm getting some people are writing some messages. Yes, girl, I love your message and you. Oh, Emily, I love you too. In the complete agreement, this was my childhood messaging. Yeah. Oh my gosh. The childhood messaging, it's so confusing, especially I think men get it to some degree too, but especially women. So we're told like eat more, right? We're told eat all your veggies, clean your plate, right? Eat more, eat more. And then right around 10 years old or puberty, when puberty starts to happen, women or girls actually tend to put on weight up to like 25 pounds or so is like normal because we're getting ready for puberty. And then we're told, like, whoa, put on the brakes. Don't eat as much. Are you sure you want to eat that? You don't want to get fat, right? We're told that your hunger isn't important, that you should, even if you're told it's okay to eat, you're not necessarily told, like, when you're hungry, that needs to be priority, right? We're told, like, you'll eat later, work hard now, or smile pretty right now, right? Or we're told, again, put that restraint on. So it's really confusing and conflicting. And then we're told, we want to look pretty. We need to look a certain way. And I think men are given there's definitely cultural ideals for men for sure. But I don't think they're given as many messages about their body needing to look pretty, more about what their body can do for them. So that is actually one thing that we can do today to start to respect our bodies. Instead of focusing on how our body looks, we can focus on what does my body do for me, especially if we've treated our bodies poorly or if we have a lot of health issues, right? Like, oh my gosh, my body has worked so hard for me. I was joking, one of the blog posts that I'm going to write, I was joking with my virtual assistant, and it inspired a blog post called I used to drink Mountain Dew for breakfast and now I eat kale every day. And like what that transition looks like, because I think a lot of people see me and they're like, you eat kale every day, like you're not normal, you don't know what I feel. But the truth is that, yeah, I used to drink, I would go to Plaid Pantry, I smoked cigarettes, and I would get a 64 ouncer amount. So, I have changed a lot. Anything is possible. So if it's possible for me, I know it's possible for you too. But again, this message isn't about how you look. It's about how you feel. And it's about caring for yourself. And it's about respecting your body, loving your body. Sometimes we can't, sorry, things are going off over here. Sometimes we can't necessarily say, like, I truly love myself, but we can understand the concept of respecting and caring for our bodies. And so that's what I encourage you today to do is know that what you have to say and offer in the world is far more valuable than your size. It has, far more weight to me than the number on the scale. And that I hope that you will be encouraged to get out there and really live life and really have joy and really do the things that you are passionate about doing and not letting your weight or your size or your appearance hold you back, because that is not what makes you valuable. And in fact, when you hold back those things, the world misses out. The world misses out on that message. And we need that message from you. So I hope I've encouraged you to consider that your message is important and that, you know, if you're feeling self-conscious, we all are, but please get out there and do it anyway. Love yourself enough to know that you're worth spreading that message. We need to hear from you. So, all right. And oh yes, and Laura saying it was so loud, that conditioning is so prevalent. So that's the thing, is that it's pervasive, right? It's in our culture everywhere. One of the things I'm going to talk a lot more about is at the doctor's office, and how being healthy, being tied to our weight is something that's really pushed in our healthcare system. Unfortunately, it's not very accurate. There are plenty of studies that show that focusing on health interventions rather than weight loss is actually far better for people, that people have way better health outcomes when we focus on health interventions rather than weight loss. That focusing on weight loss is actually harmful, it actually causes more harm, because again, diets actually lead to weight gain over time. right? Because we lose weight and then we have that pendulum swing. We eat all the things, we eat like a wild person, and then we gain weight, and then we feel like we got to do the whole cycle over again. But if we stop the cycle by stop doing the restrictive thing in the first place, we're not going to have that same pendulum swing, and we can start to build trust with our bodies. So I'm going to be talking a lot more about how the healthcare world actually contributes to that. And I'm going to be speaking out more about how talking about each other in terms of our appearance and talking about ourselves as being less valuable because of our appearance, that really is harmful and pervasive. And it's something that the diet culture actually sells to us on purpose so that we will buy their products, right? They earn $166 billion a year off of us believing that we're broken and we need to buy their product to be fixed. That's really tragic. Yeah. So we're not broken, and there's a different way. I'm going to be speaking more and more about that. I am doing a workshop, and actually I'm going to be offering it at a few places on Monday, or no, I'm sorry, on Wednesday. Today's Monday. Wednesday, I'm going to be at Karma Yoga Studio in Clackamas, and we'll be talking about the core pieces of intuitive eating and how, diet culture really is, diets really don't work, and it's really harmful, and instead what does work. So we're going to talk about that. And then I'm going to be offering it at Bold and Badass, which is a body positive gym in Southeast Portland. And then I'll be offering it online a few times as well. If you're interested in the workshop, you can go to my website, coachtiffanyrn.com, and it's under the events tab. And then in January, I'm going to be having an entire course, an online course about all of the principles of intuitive eating and how to really change and heal your relationship with food so that you never have to put weight or health on your New Year's resolutions list ever again, right? This is this is some internal work that we can do to completely have freedom in our relationship with food. And it's been life-changing for me. And I, again, want to free up your mental and emotional energy that's wasted struggling with food and struggling with your body so that you can truly be the leader that you are meant to be in the world and do the things and have the impact that you're meant to have. That's why I'm passionate about it. Thank you guys for being on here today. I really appreciate you taking the time and helping me kind of get over my self-consciousness of no makeup. Because again, my appearance isn't what creates my value and my worth, right? So trying to walk my talk here, ladies. And I appreciate you guys being on. All right, thanks.